Look, net zero by 2050 is a farce. The phrase rolls off everyone's tongue like it actually means something. But really, is there anyone who believes this country or any developed economy can ever get to net zero, let alone do it by 2050? It's just a nonsense. And when the politicians of the Green left make this pledge, they're not appealing to logic, they're appealing to emotion, pretending, and I use that word advisedly, they are pretending that they are saving the planet.
What we have with net zero.
Net zero transformation.
Net zero.
Mobilise the move to net zero.
Net zero targets.
We have our part to play very much in getting to net zero.
Set a trajectory to net zero.
Net zero is the bare minimum.
This is so idiotic, but it helps to win votes for the left. They can't get to net zero, most certainly while they maintain their opposition to nuclear energy. So this is the most inane political promise of all time. Not only is it destined to fail, but it's so far off into the never-never that it just doesn't matter when it comes to current circumstances. I mean, would you vote for a politician who promised you a tax cut 8 elections from now? That's right. They're promising they'll be at net zero after at least 8 more parliamentary terms. Who, in their right mind, would take this seriously? Politicians can't deliver a promise from one election to the next. They struggle to hold a policy from breakfast to dinner or keep a pledge from one day to the next. And people believe them when they say they'll deliver something 25 years from now? It's absurd, especially when you consider that whatever Australia does will have next to no influence on the global net zero challenge, because we produce 1% or less of world emissions. And here's the rub. China is not committed to net zero. Its emissions are the highest in the world, almost a third of all global emissions, and growing. The United States is not committed to net zero, and it's the largest economy in the world. The huge and rapidly growing countries of India, Indonesia and Brazil, they are not committed to net zero by 2050 either. Nor are Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Mexico, Algeria or Finland. That's most of the world's population and the overwhelming bulk of its economic output not committed to net zero by 2050. But this country is stupid enough to stick with the target and stick with the farcical rhetoric about how we'll actually get there. And even more idiotically, we have people pretending that getting there will make a difference, when clearly world emissions will continue to rise. Little wonder this is now a huge debating point in the right of centre parties in the coalition. Remember, the Liberals have not won a federal election since former Prime Minister Scott Morrison made this announcement.
And our plan to reach what will be our new official target of reaching net zero emissions by 2050, our plan gets the balance right.
Yeah, that seemed deeply unwise at the time. Maybe coalition supporters are smarter than the emotive net zero cheerleaders on the Green left. Certainly the push is on now for the coalition to drop that target. The State Council of the South Australian Liberal Party has dumped the target, and the Liberal Senator for that state, Alex Antic, sent out this celebratory tweet pretending that Donald Trump had reacted to the South Aussie decision.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win so much. I love you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, you'd think that many in the coalition would realise that going all Trump might not actually help them, but you've got to have some fun And maybe this is a winning strategy to get rid of net zero by 2050. But none of this will be easy. For instance, the South Australian Parliamentary Liberal Party, the state opposition, it's sticking with net zero. So that's two positions on the one policy from the one party at the one time in the one state. But there's also a third position because, of course, federally, the Liberals have all policies up in the air while they await their review. So there's net zero, no net zero and review net zero. Three takes on one policy at the one time in South Australia at the moment. This is fast becoming the big test for the new federal opposition leader, Susan Lee.
There are different views about how we appropriately reduce emissions. Now, we need to reduce emissions in this country, and Australia needs to play its part in reducing emissions. That I absolutely sign up to. We also know that if we don't do energy policy well, we can crash the energy grid, we can cripple Australian manufacturing, we can have a situation where sovereign manufacturing capability in this country is going out the door backwards or going overseas.
You're prepared to walk away from net zero?
You're putting words in my mouth, Andrew. No policies have been adopted or walked away from at this time.
Lee says she's in no hurry to finalise this policy, but the sooner the coalition has a clear policy, the better for everyone, surely. Look, this is politically difficult because most politicians, most media, most of academia and most of the bureaucracy, well, they all subscribe to this madness. They all actually stick to what they must know is a fiction. In fact, the dual fictions that Australia can get to net zero and that if it did, it would make a difference. But logic, science and rational facts say that this is a great act of national economic self-harm for no environmental gain. And right-of-centre politics should always stand up for rational policies and facts. So they need to do that now and call out this nonsense and outline a plan to deliver the reliable and affordable energy that our whole society and civilisation is built on. Otherwise, we'll sacrifice our prosperity on the altar of virtue signalling, undermine our future in the name of idiotic sanctimony.